Hello there folks, just a quick video. This one should be fairly quick. Right, in that measure of a man thing that I'm doing, it says there in one of the chapters about being of good reputation, but it also says that should be tested, that people who know you should be asked about you. Well, personally, for me, if I want to know if I'm doing well, I'm going to go to someone who doesn't particularly like me. And I'm going to ask them. Well, because someone who likes me, someone who, certainly, if we're friends or that person is a brother in God, then that person is likely to lean towards the positive in their comments, aren't they, really? Yeah, in their praise of you. They're going to try and focus more on the positive rather than the negative. Whereas someone who doesn't particularly like you is not going to lean at all. They'll be more leaning towards the negative. So if you want to get a proper view as to are you actually doing okay or are you doing well, speak to someone who doesn't normally praise you. And if you can get that person to praise you, if you can get that person saying that you're actually doing okay, you're doing well, well, now you know you're doing well. Yeah, when someone who wouldn't normally say that about you says it, well, now you know you're doing well, don't you? Yeah. So, yeah. That's what I'd do. I mean, there are people I know who I'd go to for that purpose. Yeah. I mean, one person I go to is me. Yeah, because certainly my view of myself is very much on the could do better. My view has always been could do better. I hope it never gets to a point where it's not that, because I think, as I said, I think you can always raise the bar. I think that you can always do better. I think that there's always more of his nature that you can get in you, and there's bits of you from before you became a Christian that are still in there that need to be got rid of. There will always be that will always be the case. Yeah, so whatever you're doing, I don't think you can ever get to the point where you can say, I've reached perfection. And if you haven't, you've always got to aim for that. Not because you think you're going to get it, but because if you don't, you settle for far less. And I can't do that. I can't do it. I mean, in my life, I've crashed and burned far too many times because I haven't done things according to how I've known things should be done. I've been distracted, or whatever's happened has happened, and so I know that there's a good chance I could crash and burn again if I decide to settle, and so I'm not going to do that. I'm therefore not going to settle because, so a lot of people that know me think I'm hard on myself and too hard. I don't think I'm too hard. I think in the past, have I been too hard? Yeah, I think I might have been too hard in the past. I don't think I am now, because, when God helped me to understand who I am, I realised that, well, okay, before I got to where I am now, I wasn't capable of being who I am now. And that, in the past, I've always been the maximum that I was capable of being at that point in time. I think that is probably true. To a certain degree, I believe that's true. To a certain degree. But, yeah. Well, as I said, that goes against the point of saying that the decisions we made are ours and we should be held accountable for them. We should hold ourselves accountable for the decisions that we've made and for the paths that we've gone down. I fully believe in that, because it's not about punishing. It's about learning what you need to learn to make sure you don't go down that path again. That's what that's about. Understanding that you chose to do this. It was your choice. Understanding that it was the wrong path and you don't want to go down there again means that you want to learn. You don't want to go down those paths again. That's good. I don't see a problem with that. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, so basically, yeah. Go to people who don't particularly like you if you want to know how well you're doing. Go and ask them. Yeah. Well, I've always said, if you want to do well, then have people in your life certainly be different to the world, because in the world, generally speaking, what people want is to be surrounded by yes men or yes women. Yeah. If you want to do well with God, then at least have a number of people in your life who are naysayers. Because if you can get a naysayer to say yes, well, then you know you're on the right path. Yeah? Generally speaking, we have so many thoughts a day, and for example, if I'm in some form of ministry, then I'm going to have loads of ideas about what could be done, what God might want us to do, and if I have a load of yes men, then we're going to do every single one of those, aren't we? Most of which aren't of God. If I have a number of naysayers, even if we only do what they say is okay, do that. Yeah, that's okay, do that. We're more likely to be doing what God wants us to do. Because we've got accountability on decision making. Yeah. That to me just makes sense. Well, because I mentioned Manuel quite many times, the ex-pastor of the Pentecostal church down the road. Because he is a perfect example of this, or certainly what that church did with him. Yeah, for him to be the pastor, the teacher, the worship leader, the international minister, the overseer of many churches, and all this sort of stuff, plus loads more. I think it was about 8 roles he was trying to do. That's ridiculous. There was no accountability there. There was no one saying, are you sure God wants you to carry all that? You've got to have those people. You've got to have those people. Because otherwise, ego can be the thing. It can get you to try and do far more than what you're able to do. And when you do that, you're causing yourself huge problems. Well, because for example, I last really had contact with Manuel in around about December sort of time. When I looked on their Facebook page, there was a photo of him, and he looked haggard. He looked as if he'd aged 20 years in the space of a few months. But what? That's going to happen if you're trying to carry a bloody church. That's going to happen. You need the right people around you to give you a kick up the bloody arse when you need it. When you're going astray, you need people to pull you back and say no. You need people that are strong enough and brave enough to do that. That's what I say. That's one of the fundamental things I'll be looking for in a wife. She needs to be someone who's going to do that. She needs to love me enough to stand up against me if I'm wrong. Having that is so incredibly important, because the reason why people do go astray is because they haven't got that. They haven't got those people that stand up and saying, no, this is wrong, what you're doing. Your behaviour, no, don't do that. It's wrong. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. You look at these massive celebrities who have these massive entourages of people and are followed by these yes men. Yet their chances of having a successful marriage is pretty much zero. If they have these massive entourages and surrounded by yes men, they've been hearing all this time that every idea in their head is perfect. Every idea in their head is exactly what they should be doing. That's really bad. That isn't good at all. So yeah. If anybody wants to ask me if I'm of good reputation, ask me. I'll soon tell you. Yeah. So there you go. I wish you well, and find people who you can trust. Find people who you know will be honest with you. Find people that are brave enough and love you enough to be like that, to be honest with you. Because they're the people who will be there for you. If your life starts to fall apart, if God is doing something in your life to mould you and change you, a lot of these people pleasers will run away from you. They won't want to be near any of that. Anything that's truth, anything that's dark, anything that's not dark, anything that's painful, they won't want to be anywhere near that at all. They will see that as dark. The world sees that as dark, doesn't it, really? Yeah, people going through emotional stuff. Oh, I don't want to be near that. But a true friend, someone who you know will be there, and someone who you know will be honest with you and will speak truth to you. They will be there for you during those toughest times as well. So find those people. Get those people in your life. And if you've got people that aren't quite that, then tell them you need them to be that. That's what you need them to be. Because a lot of people, they want to be that, but they're scared of being that because they don't want to be cancelled. They don't want all that. So tell them you want them to be like that. Give them permission to do that. If they're doing it too much, then tell them to back off a tiny bit. If need be. Yeah. So there you go. I wish you well. I hope you can find people like that, because yeah, I do think that they're the people that are going to help you on your path and help you to stand when you need to stand. And yeah, that's really important. So I wish you well. You take care. God bless. I will speak to you soon. Have a fantastic week and all the rest. Yeah. Enjoy. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.